There's actually no documented case of outdoor transmission of SARS-CoV-2 from casual interactions outside, like passing by someone on the sidewalk or at an outdoor restaurant. It just hasn't been documented. In fact, if you talk to most epidemiologists and public health officials, it's thought to be, far less than 1%. And when the advantages, the social emotional benefits are so huge, letting kids engage in their lives, letting them see the full range of facial expressions of their peers, when those outweigh the minuscule risk of outdoor transmission, it's really time to put facts in the driver's seat of our behaviors and public policies and take fear out of the driver's seat. We need to stop exposing kids to unnecessary fear and an exaggerated risk of outdoor transmission because, after all, health is more than the absence of disease. It's about not getting sick. And of course, there will be parents who want to mask their kids outside. There are high-risk children. There are children who live with high-risk adults. But in general, for most children, anyone who's outdoors, the risks of outdoor transmission are so small, and the benefits of moving on.
Back in April of 2020, you co-authored one of the first papers that called for universal masking. And so I'm curious what you've seen that is now changing your mind.
Yes. So masking right now in the indoor setting is still going to be indicated until anyone who wants to get a shot can get a shot in the United States. But there's sort of a lot of accumulating data about how low the risk is outside. For example, there was a study in Wuhan, China, that looked at 7,324 infections, really careful contact tracing, and only one was connected to the outside. There was another study, Ireland, just a couple of weeks ago, over 232,000 infections in that country, and again, careful contact tracing. 1 in 1,000 at that were traced to outside transmission. And then lots of other data, University of Canterbury meta-analysis, a UCSF meta-analysis that shows that the risk of outdoor transmission, just because you have that advantage of literally ventilation of the particles of the virus being dispersed in the air, is so low that in fact the University of Canterbury scoping review said we should actually be encouraging people to be outside, not with masks. And so actually the WHO never recommended masks outside when they put together their December 2020 guidelines, unless you were in packed spaces like a rally, really close to each other, yelling. That's where we would recommend masks outside.
So this is really important because all along the mantra has been, and I think it still should be, which is follow the science. And what I'm hearing you say is that the science is following us to a place of this isn't following the science anymore. Because it's more nuanced than that.
It's just more nuanced. And what you said is really key about this question of nuance, right? Because there has been a complicated relationship with masking in the United States. There just has. I have personally gotten many letters when I wrote about, for example, double masking and the advantages of that indoors. And so when you have a complicated public health intervention, you want to follow the data sort of to a T. And just like